Hi, I'm Chloe Moriondo, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Congratulations on being back on the road. I feel like it's one of those things that we've all, both artists and music fans, have been like dreaming of these last couple of years. What has this first week back been like for you?
Thank you. It's been really, really incredible. Very, very fun to be able to travel with my band. They're like the greatest people to travel with in the world. And to be able to hear my album sung back to me is pretty crazy. It's very surreal to see this album be realized in person with real people who heard it and enjoy it and connected with it and wanted to come to my shows. I don't know. I feel very grateful to be in a van right now.
Now, I feel like being on tour or just the tour experience, especially when you're on that like new album mode, I feel like that really impacts the creative process, the writing process, and even like the instrumentation, as far as like you have the idea of the audience in mind, right? So did you find it difficult with Blood Bunny? Did you find it difficult to be able to have that aspect while there was absolutely no shows, no touring going on?
It was a little interesting to kind of adapt to that, but it was honestly not as big of a shift as I think it was for a lot of other artists, because I started out basically just doing everything alone in my room anyways. So honestly, the biggest change for me was just learning how to work with other people without actually being in a room with them because of, so I don't know. It wasn't as hard of a change in that aspect as I thought it would be, but there were different challenges for everyone, I guess.
It's interesting because, like you kind of mentioned, you're used to doing this by yourself, like in your room. But then we jump into like the credits of this album, and there's various producers that you kind of collaborated with. Is that a nerve-wracking experience, going from doing this yourself to like now 5 different people that you are collaborating with to create this record?
It's honestly, it was a little easy with other people through like the weird and stuff, because there's always that kind of layer between just like talk for like 15 minutes or something and get to know each other and then hop off and send some voice memos or something. That's how a lot of meeting people worked for me, through like, since I couldn't really fly anywhere and like safely do any like co-writes in person. And then as things started easing up a little bit and it became a little bit more normal and comfortable to fly, it kind of made it easier for me to show people things in person, since I'd gotten used to like talking to people and then sending them some of my stuff as like a soft introduction to co-writing and working with producers. It's really fun. I was really nervous and afraid to work with other people in music, but it's opened a lot of doors for me, I think.
One of the things that sticks out to me from the very beginning is the way that you tell stories through your lyrics. You have this way of really giving us this like cinematic painting throughout every song that you create. How did you learn to write this way? Like, is this something that you practiced before, or are you just natural at writing the way that you do?
Thank you so much. That's such a sweet compliment. I appreciate it so much. I guess writing has always just been a thing I liked doing. I've always leaned toward like the little creative writing classes in elementary school and stuff, but I never really took any like songwriting classes in specific. I think a lot of the best songwriting is just throwing up what happens in your brain on a piece of paper or in your notes app and then editing it later. I don't know. I think my main thing in writing has always just been to be honest and to use some weird words that I don't normally hear in songs, because I think that's fun. And I don't know, that's the honesty, I think, is the most important part to me, and everything else has come pretty naturally, I think.
But you also have this way of being able to have so many different styles within each track. So there's different cadences, there's different pockets that you kind of deliver throughout your lyrics. Is that something that kind of happened within every track as you were writing this record, or was this something that you already had in mind as you were coming into the studio to write this record?
I think a lot of the songs kind of just fell together when it comes to like inspiration and like how the production kind of like was leaning toward. There's definitely some heavier songs and some like more lighthearted, poppier songs on the album that I think were kind of just established through the writing process. I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff in there that I think is very inspired by things that I grew up with, whether unintentionally or intentionally. There were some playlists that I made for some of the songs on this album that were like very Avril Lavigne, very Hayley Williams. But some of them I think just kind of grew that on their own.
Now I want to talk about your latest single, Favorite Band, because it's, like I said, your songwriting is brilliant, but the way that you created this and not only referenced these bands, but also mentioned some type of lyric throughout this track. Like, what was that experience like, that creative process like for you for Favorite Band?
Favorite Band was actually one of my favorite co-writes ever. I did it with Charlie Adams, who is a fantastic songwriter, and she like saved this chorus idea for me, like, which had like never happened with a songwriter before with me ever. A person just like saving an idea for me because they thought it would be good for me. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So we took it, and I was like, I think that we could name drop a lot of really fun artists in this and like make it a cool song about just like being in a relationship with someone that you just like can't stand because of their music taste. And it kind of just like grew from the chorus on, and it was just so fun to write, and it's always so fun to perform, and I'm very proud of it. And the music video I'm also incredibly proud of.
Take me into that process for the music video. I mean, you didn't only get to mention them, you got to bring them on the actual videos. Vic Fuentes, one of my favorite artists of all time, as well as Simple Plan and All Time Low. And there's so many more that you kind of added to this. Like, this is unreal. So how were you able to pull this off?
This was nuts. So we filmed this video. It was me and my friend Sid Ostrander, who directed the music video with like a skate cam. It was really, really cool. And like, we're super close. And my partner, Samantha, she also like did a lot of the editing on the music video and like the doodles on it and stuff. And they kept the cameos a secret. Like, any of the cameos that I'm not in, like, I didn't get to see them until the music video was released, because they wanted it to be like a birthday surprise. Because my birthday was September 29th and it was released like the 30th or something. So that was crazy in itself. And also, while we were in LA, they were like, by the way, we're just going to go to like a 7-Eleven really fast. Just stop at like a 7-Eleven really fast. And then like Vic Fuentes was there. And I was like, it was really, really crazy. And then I got to beat up All Time Low. Like, my life is a fever dream. It was all very... very fever dreamish to me.
I mean, hopefully that opens a door to like not only tours, but like even like just kind of collaborations with all of those artists.
Oh, for sure.
So I feel like. Go ahead.
Sorry. What? Oh, no, I was just gonna say I got to. So there's like a truck going by. It's like loud as hell. I got to do some opening shows with All Time Low, like pretty recently, like a couple of them, which was really crazy. That happened after the music video cameo. It's like so crazy that we're like acquaintances now. That's really, really nuts to me. Really crazy.
Yeah, just make it happen with Vic. We need another Pierce the Veil record and another tour. So just make sure you're on that lineup.
Yeah, I'll slide in a little note and like a little dollar bill. I'll say,
there we go.
Pierce the Veil, please. Yeah.
There we go. So the fact that you were able to work with these artists, like, what was that like for you? I mean, these are childhood heroes, like for a lot of us. I'm sure it's the same for you. So how were you able to keep it calm and collected throughout?
Honestly, I I feel like there's no other way to go about meeting those types of people for me other than just acting like a normal human being and trying my best to just be treat them like how I would treat a stranger. Otherwise, I will freak out and just like keep remembering the fact that they did all this stuff that like incredibly impacted my life. So, like, and a lot of the time, like, actually, all of the time, the people that I've met so far have just been like normal, really cool, humble people who are like really kind to me and surprisingly really passionate about my project, which I think is really, really special. And I'm very grateful for it. So I don't know. It was a little easier than I expected to keep my cool because they were so cool and chill and like easy to be around, which I think is really awesome.
As far as like this record as a whole, where do you feel like you felt challenged the most in order to either like start it, finalize it, or like just release it?
I think I don't know. I think the writing process was just really spaced out. It kind of fell together all of a sudden, like during the last half of the album, we were like, oh, we're making an album. And it was it was really, really confusing for me and it took a while for me to actually come up with an album title. Weirdly enough, like I didn't come up with Blood Bunny until like the months before it came out, which I guess isn't super normal. Um, but I don't know. I'm very particular about my stuff, and um, my team luckily very much cares about my stuff too. So we were a little picky with things, and especially I remember the bridge on Favorite Band took a really long time to like perfect fully. Um, but once everything was really put together, I felt really good about it, and I don't know. It was a great first album experience. I feel like it went as smoothly as a first album could be for me. A first Big Kid album, I mean, like real one.
As far as like your vocals go, do you feel like you stepped out of your comfort zone for this record? And if so, like, was there a particular song that you felt challenged, either your vocals or you felt like you had to like learn to sing a new way in order to make this song happen?
Oh, for sure. I remember specifically "What If It Doesn't End Well" is so hard on my voice. It's so difficult to sing, and it really makes me. It forces me to learn how to sing healthier in a higher range. I remember I was like, I spent so many takes in my car, like in my car in the rain, like alone with my little USB mic because I recorded a lot of these songs before I had like a real like good mic for cutting vocals. Um, so I was just like screaming in my car basically. um, a lot of these songs, yeah, I've definitely had to learn some breath control and teach myself how to take a little bit better care of my voice because some of these songs are a little bit harder to sing than what I would be used to, but I love them so much and I want to be able to sing them just how they sound on the album. So, you know, I'm excited about it. I like them.
And now that you've experienced that first week of the tour, like, do you feel like those songs still kind of challenge you, or do you feel like you've kind of nailed it now?
I think I'm I'm throwing a hammer at it every show. Like it's getting a little bit more nailed down every time. Um, but it definitely does help when there's somehow like a crowd of people in front of me also screaming and like singing the same stuff that I'm singing. So I don't have to like kill my voice to provide a good show because they're amazing and very loud and cool.
I love that you're also doing collaborations with other artists that are starting to come up as well. Maisie being one of them, and just today, Roseboy dropped his single "Bus Ride," which you were featured on. So, doing these collaborations, how do you feel like they impact your creative process? And like, do you feel like they have any? Do you feel like they help you in your writing process as well, like kind of learning new ways of writing or creating songs?
Oh, for sure. I love doing Not Okay with Maisie so much. She's like such an incredible songwriter and like there's something very special about meeting people in music that you actually really click with and you really enjoy the writing of and you feel like you can write honestly with and not have to change much with them. Um, I think that's a really special thing that I've learned can happen in working with other people. And I think it's also working with other people just in general has helped me learn what I like in my music and what I don't, and how to properly put my foot down if I don't like a lyric and I want to change it, or if I don't like a melody and I want to change it. I think there's a lot of growing to be done when a person starts writing songs with other people, but it's a really beautiful process, I think. And I really like having other people's hands on my stuff. I think it having that other perspective is really cool.
I do want to put this out there just because there's another artist that I would love to hear a collaboration with you. And her name is Lolo. She's from Canada. She's currently on tour with Newfound Glory.
I love Lolo.
Amazing. Yes, please make something happen.
Dude, we're mutuals. We're mutuals on Instagram. Like we follow each other and like each other's stuff all the time.
Perfect.
She's cool.
Yes. I feel like the two, like both of your voices and your songwriting would be incredible together. So hopefully that could be
That's
next.
a really big compliment. That would be sick. That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chloe, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Good luck with the rest of the tour. And
thank you.
I look forward to doing this again soon. I'm definitely here to stay with you, and I'm definitely a fan. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Sorry I'm in a bumpy van. I wish I could be elsewhere, but we're traveling. So,
That's all right.
I mean, it's not too bad. There's like horses out the window and stuff. It's great.